Okay, I believe we are live.
It says we're live.
Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. We had just a miasma of technical difficulties tonight, um, but we're here, and we're here for the first ever FRan Slam. Um, so basically, we had, I guess, had to pull out last minute. Um, no innuendo intended, but we thought we'd take this time to chat with each other because there's things that Rick and Zeke and myself there's stuff we don't know about each other. So we're going to chat about all kinds of things, and we're going to invite folks into our live stream today. Now, I will say, in order to get through security, we will have to know who you are, and we will have to not be afraid of you. So, there's no risk of bad things happening, I suppose.
There's a little healthy fear in that, right?
Yeah. But hey, if we know you, please join us on this FRan Slam. We would love to talk with you. I am going to post the link right now. And there we go. So, how's it going, boys? Ruben is making his way down to LA, so he's coming to my neck of the woods, so he couldn't make the episode tonight. But I'm here hanging out with Rick and Zeke, and we're gonna have a good time. Now, Zeke, you launched in hot with some ghosts. We're talking ghosts. So why don't we jump into this topic? We're going to talk about ghosts. Do we believe in them? Do we do we not believe in them? Do we believe in spiritual ghosts? Do we believe in specters, apparitions? Jeff, how's it going, man? Welcome to the FRan Slam.
Jeff, yeah.
What's up, Jeff?
Yeah. Jeff, sorry we're a little bit late tonight. We're having all kinds of difficulties getting this going tonight. But
I knew something was going to happen because Zeke gave me such a bad time because I wasn't supposed to be on tonight, and I was like, and then like, oh shit! It's the one night I get a chance to actually talk with you guys other than just comment, and and it's like, and then it was like, where are you? And so I'm like, Zeke, what's going on?
Yeah, I gave him the guilt trip.
Yeah,
nice.
I think you're the only person who's given me an angry icon on Facebook. No, plans fell through and I'm here. So no, I try to make it every Thursday. So,
well, hey,
that's cool.
We appreciate you tuning in. Of course, always. It's always fun. We pay attention to your questions and your comments. We love the we love the viewership. So thank you, and it's good to see you, man. Last time I saw you was Christmas, I think.
Yeah,
right?
It was, I think it was what, the sound waves. No, actually, I saw you from afar at Longboard for Dennis and Steven's birthday.
Oh, you were there.
Yeah, and I was like, that looks like Mike, but why would he be here? He should be in LA. And then it's like a stupid idiot. It's like, I'm talking with everybody going, I should have just gone over. And I didn't, so that's a bad on me. But
oh, dude. Well, hey, it was a good show. That was Rick's other band, the Royal Rebels.
Royal Rebels played that night.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Jeff, we're talking.
Jeff, I am so sorry I didn't know you at the time, man. I totally would have been like hanging with you and hanging out at the bar.
No, that it's all good. I'm glad to have gotten to know you guys, and
absolutely, dude.
It's been a fun ride, and COVID's kind of, I'll keep it PG, crapped on everything because, I was looking forward to hanging out more with you guys. And now this is the only thing we get a chance to do.
Well, hopefully, I don't want to, I feel like every time I say it, the numbers get worse, but knock on wood, give it another 6 months and maybe we'll be okay. But yeah, we're definitely chomping at the bit to get back into live music, and the silver lining of this whole experience. I mean, this has really given us a chance to just reach out to people, reach out to musicians, reach out to venue owners, reach out to radio DJs. So it's really been a cool thing. And it's cool seeing the same people kind of pop in every week. And I feel like we all get to share it together, So it's been great.
One of the things, I always joke because whether it's on with you guys or on with Dennis and Steve on Soundwaves, it's like I'm the non-entertainer of the group, right? Usually it's a group and everybody's in a band or an editor or something. I don't do any of that crap. So the Zoom stuff has really helped, right? So like, I've gotten to know, Ruben just like, it's like, why isn't Ruben helping Mike? Because he was like liking my stuff before you guys came on. And I was like, that was cool. And, because a lot of us can't go to every show, some of the things that have transpired because of COVID are cool, right? Like, I think Sam Chase was on with you guys in November. I think he was at the taping. And he's doing a Friday thing where, he's doing it through Stage It. So he's making a little bit of money on it or Venmo. And, I'm getting to see him perform, or I'll see you guys, or, one of Rick's cohorts from Rebels was playing with one of his other bands, and, they did a streaming thing. And so it's kind of cool because I'm an old married guy. My wife's like, what do you mean you're going to go listen to more live music tonight? So I can't always do that.
Yes, I am.
I'm talking too much. I apologize. This is
No,
your show, Mike.
No,
Sorry.
it's good.
Hey,
Good.
dude,
Go with it.
this is all about,
Yeah,
listen, man, this is always all about our guests.
We may have to run a little bit later tonight.
I think
got a late
so.
start.
We're gonna go into the witching hour possibly.
The witch.
Yeah.
No, that's like what, 3 a.m. or what
Yeah,
is it? 12?
3:30.
Okay.
I don't believe in witches.
The
I don't believe
ghosts.
in witches.
You believe in ghosts, Rick?
No, I
Is that
don't.
the ghosting hour?
Jeff, how would you
No.
feel about joining us in a conversation about ghosts?
Wait, first, what are you drinking? What do you got going there tonight?
Yeah.
So
What do you got?
I had a happy hour early, so I'm sorry. This,
Is that a new whiskey?
yeah, it's the new whiskey. It's available without a prescription. No, I was drinking. What was I drinking earlier? Woodford Reserve.
Okay.
Okay.
And
Would you recommend it?
I would. I'll show it to you guys. And I love the bottle too. It's one of my favorites. But I'm a bourbon guy. If you ever get a chance to hang with the pool with me, but
Oh, nice.
All right.
and it's cool because it's got kind of this nice looking, unique bottle.
Nice.
I enjoy some of that. I just picked up a bottle of Blanton's. And that's another one that's got it. We're gonna turn this into a liquor discussion, but what's wrong with liquor? But I like these because every one of them's got this horse on it,
Oh, look at that.
and each horse has
Wow.
an imprint. So this one's got the B, and if you get all of the letters of Blanton's, you can actually send them to the distillery, and they'll mount them on a piece of a cask from a barrel.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
so, but there was a distillery fire, so this bottle was on high allocation. So luckily, I have a friend who's a manager at Bevmo. So get a text. I got one. You want it? And it's like, yeah. Here's my $75. Thank you.
Nice. All right.
Oh, cool.
So, but I was rocking my shirt the other. I was rocking the shirt the other day. I saw somebody
that.
put it up on the Frantic page. That was nice to see.
Thank you very much.
Thank you thank you guys.
Yeah.
I love promoting you guys. You know that, right?
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
We definitely appreciate it. And for everybody out there, we're this close to opening our online store. So an announcement coming hopefully in the next. I'll undershoot and I'll say a week from now, but maybe even sooner.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, but thank you. We really appreciate you sporting the shirt. That was a design that was made by a friend of mine. We went to college together. We both majored in animation, and he's actually down here now working at Cartoon Network. But he's always been a cool dude. Whenever I've asked him for anything kind of like, hey, you wanna do a design for the band? He's like, sure, you know. He actually helped us film one of our videos too, and he's just whatever. He's just down to hang out and I guess do that stuff. So Alvin, what's up?
No, I was going to say it's actually the print that Rick's got is his background there.
Yeah.
And I love it because, as I mentioned, I'm an old fart, and it's got a very Tron type look, you know, which is just kind of cool with, you know, all the different, different neon type colors, and it looks really good.
Well, Alvin Villanueva, if you're out there listening, kudos to you, man. For the cool design.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So back to Ghosts. Oh, sorry.
Let's jump into it. It's Zeke had asked me like moments before we we're about to jump on air here. Zeke, to answer your question, I honestly don't know if I believe in ghosts. I don't think, there's all this fiction around ghosts that like, oh, it's these spirits with unfinished business and yada yada, and I don't know if I believe in that part. If anything, this weird kind of theory I have about ghosts is sort of okay. Typically when there's ghost encounters, it's because there's someone who has died violently or suddenly or traumatically or dramatically, and I kind of feel like, what if there's some weird kind of energy that kind of is just on loop, right? Some real intense moment that this person had, and for some reason it's just kind of repeating, and that's kind of how I see it. But I mean, what the hell do I know? That's where I stand on ghosts.
That's like a metaphysical Groundhog Day.
It is, yeah.
Like that would totally suck to be that person.
Well, and here's the thing: I don't even know if it's that person reliving that moment, though, right? I mean, it could be that person has already passed on, and they're in the next phase, whatever that is, right?
Yeah.
But it's just this weird after trail of whoever this person was that just repeating. I don't know.
Because I would think more so it would be an echo of something, because if I died, I would have to relive a tragic moment like that. I just, hopefully that doesn't exist. So.
Yeah. They're good theories. I don't know. I tend to think there might be something to the whole ghost thing, because we've had things happen, and you brought up a point that there were things that like happened in my grandmother's house like days after my grandfather died. Like he was looking for things before everything was done, just things that had never happened, and so you might have a point of, it's like, okay, maybe if it's not a loop, but it's like that unfinished business, I've got to do this, and then I'm gone, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Rick, what do you think?
Oh man, so at practice last night, but this is where the topic really came up, and we were kind of sharing some of our beliefs. I told the guys, I don't believe in ghosts, right? I don't.
Perfectly
so like
reasonable.
I could go to Alcatraz in the basement and spend the night there and be fine. Will I hear noises? I'm willing to bet I will hear noises, but I don't think it's like Al Capone's, ghost coming back to kind of rattle bars and stuff like that. So I'm not, that's not where I'm at. Now, right. I do believe that there are the apparitions and things like that. So this is where a personal spiritual belief kind of dictates, and this is from my upbringing, is that I think that there's a good force and a bad force, right? Some people are going to say God, Satan. Some people are going to say, just a dark and a light, whatever it is. So I think for as much good as there is, and I do believe in creation and all that kind of stuff. So I'll just say, I'm not trying to start an argument or anything.
No.
But that's just my upbringing, the way I have kind of come to understand my world. Okay. And that's the sort of the glasses through which I see the world as I live in. So I believe, yes, there's a God. I believe there's a Satan. I don't put any kind of male or female gender to it, but I believe for as much good as there is, there's that much bad. And I think that the bad is trying to sway us away from the good. And that's that kind of stuff when you start seeing things that start messing around with, your perception of reality. I think that's all it is. It's just meant to detract from what your truth really is. Now, it can get deeper than that, but that's just basically, in a nutshell, why I don't believe in, the ghosts, as it were. So I don't ever think that I'm going to see my mom come back, as some sort of ghost and go, oh my goodness, that's my mom. It's like, no, I know where that comes from, and that's not okay. So that makes me feel more comfortable, and if that's all it is, I'm fine with that. That's just the way I've kind of reconciled life. So no, I was telling the guys and they were laughing at me because they were conveying. Zeke had a great story, man. I was totally like thinking, Ghostbusters. It was a very, very library basement, Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray moment. It was really cool.
Oh man, I mean, Zeke, would you mind?
No, because
that again. I'm curious.
Because I've seen stuff throughout my life, unwillingly. So it's not that I try to go look for it, but I remember I wanted to share one experience with Rick. I was telling him that about 10 years ago, I woke up about 4 a.m, got ready to go to work because I had to go into work early that day. And I was on the road by 4:30. So I'm driving down the street, right? Nobody's around, still black outside, still dark outside. And I'm at that stoplight, right? I'm right at the stoplight. I'm next to a building, and I see this person out of my peripheral vision.
Yeah.
I'm walking on the sidewalk, just walking. And that person just stops and is waiting for the crosswalk light to cross over across the street, right?
Yeah.
So he's on this side, I'm on the right side, and I could still see him out of my peripheral vision. Not really, I'm just minding my own business. But then I think, who's up this late? Who's waiting for a light this late? So I turn around and I look, and it's this figure of a man that's just standing kind of like a zombie-like. Like he had his hands up. Like
oh wow.
And he looked inebriated because of the way he was moving, but he was see-through. You could see the outline of his clothes, but you could see right through him.
Oh shit!
And he had no head, right?
And he had no head.
So that would explain the swaying of the inebriated appearance.
By the way, real quick, Mondo.
Yeah, Mondo, man.
What's up, man?
What's up, Mondo?
What's up, fellas?
We're talking ghosts.
I was listening on my computer and I have Zoom at work, but not on my personal stuff. So I was, Mike, I got your message and I was like trying to put Zoom on my phone. So here I am. Good to see you guys.
Yeah, good to see you too.
Hey, you too, man. Superfan Mondo.
You came in like right when Zeke was telling us a terrifying story about how he saw someone on the street.
Oh no, I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
So,
all right, so keep going, Zeke. Keep going.
So I'm looking at this body, without a head. I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking, I'm not dreaming. I'm just gonna stare at it to make sure that I'm not imagining this. And I stared at it for at least 30 seconds, which felt like 30 minutes, right? And that figure sees me that I'm looking at it.
Oh God!
And right away, it turns its body around because it has no head. It turns its body around and it runs up to the car.
Oh no!
Zeke, can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Was it Jimi Hendrix?
No.
Oh, okay. I could have.
Had no head.
You didn't see like Hendrix's last gig? He played headless. It was pretty remarkable.
Was it? It was probably a hologram, though, right?
He was ahead of his time, dude. What can I say? Yeah.
He was ahead of his time. Yes.
Yeah. No. Exactly. It's clever. As was Hendrix.
The ghost ran up to the car?
Ran up to the car.
Did it?
My window was down. The only reaction I could do was kind of like block myself.
Oh my God.
And he just went right through the car.
Dude.
Through the car. I was freaking out. I didn't tell anybody for about a couple of years.
Oh
So here's my
God.
theory on this. This didn't occur to me until after I got home last night, and I was kind of thinking about your story. It's like I think you hadn't woken up yet, and that was just a dude that was trying to wash your windows for some spare change.
Now, Zeke, it's interesting that you say that because here's the thing. I used to work at a movie theater, and I had this coworker, and I don't know the credibility of this source because she was a little odd, but she basically said, "Oh yeah, I see ghosts all the time." Right? Like we'd be at work on a busy Saturday night, and she'd be like, "Oh yeah, there's like 5 ghosts in here," and I was like, "Okay, tell me more about this because I really want to know how this works." And she's like, "Well, here's the thing about ghosts. If you see them and they notice that you're staring at them, they'll become aware that you know that they're there, and then they'll just turn and then come right at you." And that was one of the things that she said. She said, whatever I do, I need to make sure that I don't look at them like dead on, because then they'll be like, oh shit, this person sees me. And then they'll just go towards you. So it's
So what's
interesting.
wrong with that though?
With a ghost coming right towards you?
Haven't you seen Ghostbusters, man? You get slimed. It's gnarly.
Okay, so apparently that's the worst that's going to
Come on
happen. Either you
Slime
get
tastes disgusting, dude.
either you get covered with snot or they go right through you.
Well, depending on what you believe, though, because here's another thing that she said, and I don't know the validity of all this, but she was like, "Oh yeah, my cousin got possessed by a demon."
Oh shit.
And according to her, there was demon ghosts. Now, a demon ghost can just go right into you and basically possess you. So there's that.
It's scary.
Okay, now that kind of goes back to where I was saying more along my belief system.
Right.
Do you
Is that
believe in possession, Rick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we can get opened up to that kind of stuff, and that's that. Yeah, it's a bigger discussion than I think what we probably have time for, and it's easier to make fun of it, but there's still a side of it that's like, I don't think it's something to necessarily just write off. But
Sure, man.
Yeah, I believe people can get possessed and stuff.
Well,
There is some consistency in Zeke's story versus what Mike's friend said about when they notice you, they come at you.
Right.
But why are they pissed?
I figure
Are they
help
pissed?
them, right?
Or are they just,
I don't know.
see? Why are you
If you
rushing
see
me,
them,
man?
they probably want
I'm
help.
just trying to go to work. I just noticed you. And you're coming at me hard?
Maybe they're coming in for a hug. Who knows?
An intense hug.
A very intense.
But even
hug.
at that, it's just going to be one of these sort of things, There's a lot of this. There's
That's why they got to come in hard, Can't half-ass that. Ghost hugs, you can't half-ass a ghost hug, man.
You can't do it soft,
No.
right?
Hell no.
It's no one-armed hug. It's a ghost hug is always 2 arms.
What was that? The one arm side, the Christian side hug? Mm.
Oh, we have a special guest coming in hot here. Oh man, things are about to get real interesting.
Who is it?
Ladies and gentlemen.
I didn't know it could get any better.
Well, let's see if he's able to join. He's having a little bit of difficulty here. My brother is about to join the meeting.
Another Harding.
Yeah. Matt, are you there? I know he's muted right now.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Not much. I thought I'd come by and say hello to everybody.
What's up? What's up?
How you doing?
Hey.
Good.
You should enable your video.
Oh yeah. You
Yeah.
want to see my shaggy appearance?
Matt, we're talking
Yes.
ghosts.
Oh, you're talking ghosts.
Yeah, we're talking ghosts.
What's your Oh, there you are. What's up?
Hi.
Hello.
Oh my God, he looks like you, man.
Well, we are from the same
You swim in the same gene pool, huh?
yeah.
All right. Sorry.
What's all that stuff that you have behind you there? And is it statues or something? Like I see like a frog dancing guy.
Me?
Was it
Oh, no,
Rick?
it's a romantic thing. Sorry, it was on who is that?
Is he talking about Rick?
Is it Jeff?
Mondo.
Me.
Mondo.
Mondo, what you got over there, Mondo?
This
got a whole
is
collection.
this is
Oh,
the
yeah,
Disney.
yeah.
This is the Disney room. I'm a Disney super fanatic. I'm a geek, and I don't use the word geek lightly. So I just bought a condo right before COVID. I feel like an adult finally. I actually own a place in the Bay Area, no less. It's a 2-bedroom, but it's not really a 2-bedroom. It's a master bedroom and my Disney room.
That's cool.
So I've got a lot of Disney collectibles, kind of all over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow, you got quite a collection.
Yeah.
Wow.
And listen,
this
man, I always really appreciate a Who Framed Roger Rabbit fan because that's like kind of the holy grail of the animation
such
industry.
a wonderful film.
Yeah.
Mm.
So seamlessly put together, that movie. So Matt,
Hey.
how's it going?
Real
All
quick,
right.
if I step away, I have a Disney thing I wanted to get and show Mondo. Is that cool?
Bring it.
Go
yes.
for it. Yeah.
Bring
Okay.
it.
All right. You guys keep talking though.
Stoked.
Matt, I don't know if we've ever talked about this. Have you seen Ghost before? Have you seen a ghost?
Movie Ghost or a ghost?
All of them.
Ghost.
I actually just saw the movie Ghost like 2 days ago for the first time.
Ditto.
Good movie.
Does it hold up?
I guess. I mean, yeah.
Not as well as GoldenEye, Mike.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I haven't
GoldenEye.
seen GoldenEye in a long time. It didn't age well.
Here's the thing. The
Mike
game
loves it.
the game is a masterpiece. All right. The game is it
Not
the
if you
game-
look at it now.
well
Not if you look at it now.
block people, yeah. But I mean, I think a lot of people like the movie because of the game. I'm gonna throw out a hot take there that I think a lot of people like the movie more because of the game.
You're right. GoldenEye was a cultural experience, is what it was. It was a game, a movie. It was a bunch of stuff, right? It was when we all got introduced to what's his face, the guy who always gets killed in all the movies, 006.
Oh, Sean Bean.
Yeah, Sean Bean.
Yeah.
Gets killed in all the movies.
Yeah, he does in everything he's in. It at the time it was really good, but yeah, I doubt any of it holds up. You know.
It's very much of its time, and I think like if this was back in 1995 and I was watching GoldenEye for the first time, I'd be like, hell yeah, this is amazing.
You're like Famke Janssen. End of story. Like worth
Yeah.
dying for the sex. But here's the thing,
that's
dude.
right.
Like
She was
that
in that
film.
movie.
That film is kind of passable, like you're alluding to. But think about the rest of Pierce Brosnan's catalog as 007.
yeah.
Like the one with Halle Berry with the invisible plane. Yeah, precisely. Like just god awful. Like
I don't even remember those.
Oh yeah.
that's a good thing, dude. That's better off for your own. Yeah, that's a good thing.
Die Another Day is hands down the worst James Bond movie ever made.
Oh wow.
Worst James Bond movie ever made.
You put
I
it
think-
out there like that.
That's
I think
Timothy
also-
Hutton, right?
What's that?
What's that?
That's Timothy Hutton era, right?
No, that's the last
Timothy
Pierce
Dalton.
Brosnan.
Oh, okay.
The
Last-
second Timothy Dalton, License to Kill, which is a perfect name for a Bond film, was pretty freaking awful. Mike, I put that up there with Die Another Day.
Was that Christopher Walken or was that the other one?
No, that was the last Roger Moore one. That's View to a Kill. That's the one that was
Oh.
in San Francisco where he tries to blow up Silicon Valley through an try to cause an earthquake artificially to flood Silicon Valley so that his stock in his tech company in 1989 would rule the world.
So they basically took all the Bay Area tropes and just like tried to throw them all into one movie.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got the tech, you got the earthquakes, the fight on the top of the Golden Gate Bridge at the very end with the Zeppelin with the giant blimp.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And
throw somebody
Roger
off
Moore
the
was at
Zeppelin
least-
into the bay.
Yeah, and Roger Moore is like about 15 or 20 years too old to be playing Bond at that point.
Then
This
they go
movie
to a
sounds
Giants
great.
game
I gotta watch
after.
That's the one with Grace
Grace Jones.
Jones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's the henchman in that one.
Yeah, Rick almost said Grace Slick. I was wondering.
I was about to. It's like,
Grace
Yeah,
Slick
no,
was
it's
in
not
a
right, that's not
Bond
right,
movie,
sorry,
that would
sorry.
be dynamite. If Grace Slick was in one of like the original Sean Connery films, that would have been amazing in the 60s.
Oh man. Oh, I thought you were gonna say like now. It's like, oh my god, yeah. It's
Oh
gonna
no,
have
she's
like
hurting now. Yeah.
this film's sponsored by Geritol.
Matt.
So ghosts. You were asking me about ghosts?
Yeah. Have you seen any ghosts?
No. No,
Okay,
I'm
Mondo.
pissed off about it, honestly. I mean, like, I've always wanted to see one. I mean, who hasn't? But no, unfortunately not.
I think it's one of these things where I you know, I mean, if we have an assumption that ghosts are real, which I don't, but let's say ghosts are real, I almost think that like not everybody is capable of seeing them, right? Like, and who knows what the determining factor is, but I think it's either you can or you can't, and if you can't, then you won't, which is a bummer.
So are you trying to say it's somewhat like jazz? Like kind of like what Frank Zappa said? If I have to explain it to you, you won't get it.
Was he the one that coined the phrase? That makes sense that he coined that
I
phrase.
cannot verify if that was him, but I believe that was like a poster I saw.
That
We
sounds
gotta
like
Google
a
this.
Zappa.
Yeah.
Cool guy, but I probably would never want to hang out with him.
Like,
What? Are you serious? I mean, like a couple hours at least, but I mean, well, not as he is now. Then we would definitely have like this whole ghost and jazz sort of discussion. However, the musical genius that he was, absolutely. You wouldn't want to hang out with that dude?
Well, he
I
seemed
don't
really
know,
eccentric, right?
I get the feeling it would be
I
like,
don't
hey,
know
Frank
if he was eccentric.
Zappa, you want to watch a movie? And like, you know, like anything I would suggest, for example, Ghostbusters, and he'd be like not down for that because he would rather watch some obscure French indie film that I've never heard of. That's like 5 hours long.
Okay, but that's like going
Those
on
are
a
the
first
best.
date. You never want to go on a movie on a first date. That's just kind of dumb. It's like 2
Why
hours.
is that, Rick?
Why not to go on a movie on a first date? What are you going to get to know about that
Yeah,
person? Just like
no
if they
engagement.
like the movie or not. Right. So
Right.
first date is, face to face.
Coffee.
That's the way I think it should be. Like if you're going to sit with somebody, I don't think it matters who it is. If it's somebody that you idolize and whatever it is that, I hate using the term idolize, but somebody that you look up to as like a hero. It's like, why would you want to go sit in a movie with them? So you can sit there in silence and try to watch something else that you both may get into or you may not, but either way, you're still not talking to each other.
Well, I got a question for Jeff. Let's say you're taking someone you idolize out on a first date. What's that first date and who you going with?
Yes.
I was on mute. Sorry. I don't know. I haven't been on a date in over 30 years, so could be that could be interesting. I don't know. Musically, I'd want to have dinner with Billy Joel.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Because he through through the early 70s through the mid 80s or actually 95 was his last album, so for 25 years he was able to stay relevant but not really change.
Mm-hmm.
If that kind of makes sense, right? You have some of these artists that they go to the disco thing and then they go to the punk thing and then they go new wave, and he kind of went from, he did the 70s ballads thing whenever, when Chicago was hot. And then in the 80s, he was kind of doing stuff like Elton John and Bruce Springsteen. He was kind of, that's who I'd want to be. And on the first date, I know he's a big wine drinker, so I just want to be at a winery and see what he drinks. But I won't let him drive home. And if you understand that, you're way too old. Okay.
A bottle of red, a bottle of white.
No, he ran off the road a couple, well-known accidents in, about 10 or 15 years ago. So.
Yeah. Well, I know he did, or maybe still does have a substance abuse problem. I don't know, but I know.
Well,
I didn't know that.
yeah, I don't
Huh.
know. You know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I was watching
Um,
this video online of him. I think this was in the late 80s of him, like the lights that were around him when he was performing, they weren't directly on him. They were pointing at a different direction. Somebody wasn't paying attention. So he got mad, right? And he kept trying to tell the sound guy or whoever was back there, hey, he's pointing at the lights when he's trying to play the piano. Nobody listened to him, so he ended up flipping that grand piano live on stage, and he just walked away.
Oh wow.
I don't know if you guys saw that, but he got a little bit of air of that on that grand piano.
Hey, when you
Yeah. It is weird to see him now. I saw him at AT&T Park. I guess it's what Oracle Park now, and it's fine because he comes out. He's almost 70, right? So, or he is 70, I think, and he comes out in a suit and he sits behind his piano. He does it great, but when he comes out and he's kind of holding that microphone, singing, it's still rock and roll to me. Then he's out of his element, right? Go back behind the piano and stay what you want.
Yeah, it's not 1986 anymore.
Exactly.
It's hard to see your favorite musicians age who don't age well, though, right? Or who don't hold up.
Like
there's some folks, that can pull it off into their late 60s and 70s, and there's others that's just, like they'll decline in certain areas like that. It's a shame.
You've got like Mick Jagger who can dance all day, for the Rolling Stones, in front of, a stadium, but Billy Joel's not going to do it. And I think Mick's got 7 or 8 years on Billy. So.
Right. And Mick Jagger's looked the same for the last 40 years or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Rick, what were you going to grab? I'm curious.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
What do you got?
Yeah, Rick.
Nice.
Oh wow.
Do you know what that is?
Old school.
Yeah. Do you know what it is, though?
Wait, I need to see you again. How do I get back to you?
Oh, you can hit.
Here we go.
Gallery
Yeah, I was on a different view.
Gallery view.
Do that clearly. We got a closer look. Wow, that's awesome. Where'd you get that?
I actually found it. So, 3 years ago, my wife and I were moving out of the house that we were in, and it was my mom's house. And I was going through my daughter's drawers under her bed, as we're getting ready to move and pack stuff up, and I see this book. And I remember this book being on a shelf in my house when I was a kid. So I think it just kind of got shuffled around, over the last 40-something years. So it's been just kind of thrown around in our family, bounced around. But I finally did some research on it, and that's a first edition Bebo and Lang Mickey Mouse book. And this was before, it was published in 1930. So this is a first edition.
Oh, wow.
So
Rick, that's
it's
awesome.
It's almost 100 years old, dude.
Dude,
So
you need to frame that and put it up on the
Amazing.
wall and put like an alarm system around it.
well, I actually went to I asked.
Because if you don't, I'm going to steal it.
I will take reasonable offers.
You gotta put some barbed wire, some cool sunglasses, so he could get distracted when he comes and gets it.
I want disintegrating ray guns. But yeah, dude, it was pretty interesting to look it up and see some people on eBay with even better versions of it. But this thing is not. There's not a lot of them. So I was like, okay, I think I need to hang on to it. I asked the people at the Walt Disney Museum up in San Francisco at the Presidio about it.
It's a great museum.
They're like, I haven't even been, but they're just like, yeah, if
it's
you have one.
Museum. Yeah.
Yeah, they were asking if they could have it. I was like,
No.
You know what?
You're like, that'll be 60 G's in cash now, and then 60 after delivery.
Yeah, it's not going for that much even on eBay. I don't think that I've seen some on the high end. People are asking at 10. But I was last time we went to Disneyland. I think it was February. I went into that little area right by Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, that whole thing.
Yeah, the Disney Gallery.
I was wanting to ask if there was somebody there. I would rather see it on display down there. I think that would be pretty cool because they don't have one. So like, man, yeah, you guys can have it if I can have like, I don't know, 10 years of annual passes for free, and I'd be good.
I was gonna say, go
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Really cool.
Yeah.
It doesn't
And-
sound absurd, does it? I mean, what's the
No.
cost to them?
Right.
How many people
Yeah.
come into Disneyland in a day? You know,
Exactly.
what's
That's not absurd at all.
I'm telling you, also, and you want a Club 33 membership.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
That
Yes.
is where it's at.
That's
Club
still on my
33 is
bucket
amazing.
list. That
I
is
was
still
able-
on my bucket list.
I was
Yeah.
able to get there divine intervention, like being a super Disney fan my entire life. I was able to celebrate my 30th, 31st, and 32nd birthdays there. It was incredible. And it wasn't even by virtue of the fact I had a friend her friend was a sommelier there. And it wasn't even by virtue of the fact that he worked there. It was that he had a great rapport with some super wealthy guy from Australia who only came stateside a few times a year and said, if you have if you know somebody who was celebrating something really special and would really appreciate this, you can use them, let them in through my membership. And
Wow.
Oh,
and that was
man,
awesome.
that's
That
so
was
cool.
incredible. Yeah, it was really, really, really cool. That was
Now,
before,
okay.
this was about 12 years ago, 11, 12 years ago, before they've remodeled it. Now there's like a proper salon in the back, like a cool lounge area. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead, Rick.
Wow. No, I was just saying, it's like, I think some of those people need to let go of their memberships because I know it's like capped at so many. But let it go, man. Come on.
Well,
you know?
yeah, for a while it was, and this is not an exaggerated number. It was actually, there was a 14-year waiting list.
Mhm.
And, yeah, which is ridiculous.
Crazy.
And the initial, not the initiation, whatever it is, like the initial fee to join was something like 30 grand down, and then you'd pay like 12 grand a year, which
Yep.
is absurd, right? So that's, unless you have an excess of disposable income. In other words, if you're a
Yeah.
multimillionaire, then it's like, that's like one of us paying $100 for a gym membership or something.
Right.
But it's like Hollywood stars going to Lakers game and getting courtside seats, and you've got some child in Inglewood who is, below the poverty line, has been a Lakers fan all of his 15 years of life, and can't afford to get to a game, and he's a bigger fan.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? And it's that whole dynamic, which sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'd be definitely down to barter with them and like trade off something like that, to like have like a membership for a year or something like that, like for annual passes or something. But until then, or if I make that right connection with somebody down there, it just stays here in my safe. So.
Yeah. And that's great that you said it was yours and then it was your daughter's. Like, that's fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, like, what's the worst that's going to happen?
Value.
Yeah. I mean, so here's the funny story though, and this is just a complete hearsay. This is not anything that is verifiable, but my mom's parents are from Marceline, Missouri. So the story, yeah.
Wow.
So the story, that part's documented, but the story is that before Walt Disney met his wife and started courting and dating and marrying her, my grandmother and he dated because they're all there like in a tiny little city. So that's just the story, and nobody's around to validate that, and I don't care. I think it lives better just in kind of that little
right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool, and that's what makes that book a little bit more special, and it's fun, So maybe we need to hang on to it until it's 100 years old and see what happens then.
Yeah.
So
thank you for sharing that, Rick. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, no worries, man. I really like those pictures of all your collection stuff. It's like I see those down there in the gallery, and it's like every time I go down there, it's like, oh man, I want to get one of those. But then I always find like a shirt that I need to have or I can't live without.
Get them all, dude.
Hey, Mondo,
No,
how long did it take you to assemble or get all that collection there? It looks like a couple of years, right?
Yeah, so it was a couple years. A lot of I haven't purchased anything in a while. I work in social work and I live in the Bay Area, and I just bought a place. So I'm like my budget has been super tight for a long time. I was living in San Francisco for 12 years, and so this was wasn't too long after I moved to the city. So I'm just trying to do the math here. So probably like about 10 years ago, I let me see if I can get this to go here. So this piece here, this is like a 2-foot tall Jessica Rabbit. I used to see that in Disneyana, which is one of the collectible stores, which is now moved to the place that Rick was just referring to, which is now the Disney Gallery.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I saw that, and it was like $150, and I'm like, this is amazing, but that's just not in my budget. And this guy that I knew at Club 33, I was hanging out with him one time, and he was like, hey, I get a 35% discount if you pay me cash. You know that, and I'm like, okay, well, that essentially takes the Disney markup, right? If you think of any Disney merchandise and you take 30% off, now you're like, okay, now that's reasonably priced.
Right.
So anyway, I did that, and then so I got that, and then that was the start of it. And I I think online randomly would see random posts about like Jessica Rabbit collectibles, and I'm like, oh, this is really cool. I'll save up, and in a few months I'll get that, and then I'll get this, and then it started as a Jessica Rabbit collection. And then I kind of exhausted that. And Jessica Rabbit was the perfect person to collect because there was very cool, unique merch, but it wasn't so prevalent like Mickey Mouse or Tinkerbell that there's just stuff everywhere. It's kind of like it makes the collecting fun because you have to search and see what comes up, and then maybe something new comes up every few years.
More niche.
And then so I kind of exhausted that, and then was like, this collecting's fun. Who are my other favorite Disney characters? And so I kind of slowly did it, and then that became the thing that the only thing I spent money on. I don't shop and I don't have expensive hobbies or anything. So it was just like, go on eBay and wait for something that would normally be $200 and somebody's selling it for $110 or $75, and it's still in good condition. And so I just, over the years, had built up, collected my favorite characters, whatnot, and that's kind of snowballed from there. But I haven't really purchased anything in a while.
What's your favorite piece? Is it the first one there, the big Jessica Rabbit?
The one next to it, I will show you. This is called a premium format figure. This one right here. So this is the one that's like the most true to the actual animation. So Mike, I know you're an animator and you love Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So this one is like a great representation of like what like if you look at the face and the figure and everything, like very close to the way she was in the movie.
Right.
That's like my pride and joy piece. So this is not a Disney. This was a third party. It's called Sideshow Collectibles. And
oh yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you know them. So they make like a lot of pop culture stuff. Some predominantly like comic book characters and Star Wars and such. But they did a short run of some Disney characters, and so like that was a limited edition of whatever they did. So that's definitely my favorite piece for sure. But I've got a lot of other favorites of like whether it's the Cheshire Cat or Captain Hook. But that would be like my pride and joy piece or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Matt, you're familiar with Sideshow Collectibles, right? Do you have any? Yeah. Do you have any Sideshow Collectibles?
These guys.
Your room looks awesome, Matt. By the way, I'm loving all the stuff back there.
Oh yeah, you want a little tour?
That was awesome.
Was it Apocalypse? Who was that right there? Was it
Apocalypse? Gambit. This is basically the studio. So I got a bunch of. This is where my wife sits. She does writing and editing and stuff over here. And then this is where I sit, where I just kind of goof around all day. Got a bunch of books and stuff. Some of these Batmans.
Was that a Misfits mask I saw there?
Oh yeah, it's a Misfits mask.
Nice.
Let's see. We got that Star Wars poster. Some toys and stuff. We have these DC comics that are like horror DC comics. So like they're like made after movies, because Sarah's a big horror fan and I'm a comic book nerd, so kind of met in the middle there.
Very cool. I'm a big fan of checking out people's collections of things. I think because I'm guessing you can appreciate like the process of collecting, right? And how cool it is to like get something new and that appreciation for it when it's like something you've wanted for a long time and then you get it.
Oh yeah, I gotta say the Frantic fans are the best. This is the coolest. Like we've gone from a little bit about booze, comics, Disney.
Don't forget Ghosts.
Ghost in possession.
Patrick Swayze.
Yeah.
Swayze.
But like
it's like should be nice until it's time not to be nice.
How will we know? I will
you ask him. I will let you know.
I thought you'd
I'll
be
let
bigger.
you know. I get that a lot.
So Mike, if we get bored with ideas of what to do, we could have a Roadhouse, viewing party.
Why do you see a Die Hard movie poster back there, Jeff?
All right, so that's my thing. So I've got
That's
all
pretty
three of the original, the first three.
Nice.
But then I also bought the Curio, and in the Curio, which is kind of hard to tell, but on the top in the Curio, my son actually used some Lego design tools to create a 1,500 piece schematic of a Lego Nakatomi Tower.
Wow.
What?
That's awesome.
Amazing. Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's so awesome.
Yeah, and
Wow.
and so believe it or not, I ended up with that Curio because I was looking for an acrylic cover, just because it's it's a Lego, so it's fragile, right? So it'd get dusty and then pieces would fall out, and I'm like, man, I gotta, and I was looking for an acrylic cover, but to get something that made it look nice, it was going to cost me like $200. I bought that whole Curio off of Facebook Marketplace for $80. And so I've had a little bit of fun. So, there's a coffee table book in there, on the bottom, I've got his Bruce Willis's music career stuff.
Mhm.
And
The
unfortunately,
Accelerators, right? Wasn't his band called the
Yeah.
Accelerators?
Yeah,
I always thought was a dynamite name for a band.
that was later in his career, but he actually has 2 albums off of the Motown label from the late '80s.
Oh wow.
And that was just, Bruce Willis, the return of Bruno, right?
I remember that.
Yep. And I can't show it to you because the camera is, mounted to the iMac. But right here, I have, and I'll put it in the chat. I've got a Nakatomi Plaza Die Hard that was done by an artist down in Anaheim, and there's only 60 of them, and it's the only time I've ever had somebody tell me they were jealous of something I actually owned, because it's done in a very humorous way, right? So like the blueprints have the bloody footprints from when he got cut on the glass, and
That's awesome.
the side of the building shows where all the terrorists were killed and where they fell, and
Wow.
the artist only did 60 prints, and so when I was able to find one, I snagged it. I didn't argue on price because it was like 5 years after he had done them. He had one sitting in his gallery, and I'm like, I want it. So I had it like 3 days later.
Oh wow.
But yeah, I'm a Bruce Willis guy. So right down to the fact that he had a movie that came out 29 years ago called Hudson Hawk.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And I actually put the hawk on my arm from the movie.
No, nice.
That's
to do it.
devotion.
That's devotion. So, but Mondo, I've never met you. Nice to meet you. And Matt,
Likewise.
same thing. We all have our thing, right? And this was my thing. So, so,
One of my
even the shirt, the Nakatomi Christmas shirt.
oh yeah.
So, go ahead,
So
Mike.
here's what I would
Say.
suggest. Sorry, Mike, but
No,
I
it's good.
think at some point Frantic should do in one show in the Bay Area a cover of "Would You Like to Swing on a Star."
That sure. Let's do it.
I think Jeff would appreciate that.
I'm going to be at the show anyway. It doesn't matter.
Any Sinatra cover.
But that was the end song
That
in
was-
Hudson Hawk,
yeah.
right? Yes.
Yep.
There
Wow,
you
that's
go.
a good pull, man.
Actually,
I definitely don't remember that. I thought you were just throwing out random
swinging
Sinatra.
actually, swinging on Star was at the beginning. They did side by side at the
Was
end.
it side by side?
Yeah,
Oh.
him and Danny Aiello.
Yeah. I thought. Are you sure?
Fuck, I gotta rewatch this movie
Dude.
now. You guys talking about it.
I know.
3-day weekend.
I know.
That was one of those films that when it came out, it was just like, Mike, you referred to GoldenEye earlier, like of its time. Like Hudson Hawk was like quirky even for that time, and it's like now you can't pull off a movie like that, right? Because they'll just get
Right.
universally panned.
No,
But back then, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, it's just offbeat enough. Like a lot of people did not get it and were like, this is ridiculous. And other people,
Mhm.
like I'm guessing most of us just thought, like, didn't take it too seriously and just kind of enjoyed it for what it was.
yeah. So the best comment I ever heard about Hudson Hawk was by the guy who did Inside the Actor's Studio, James Lipton.
Uh-huh.
And when he interviewed Bruce Willis, they talked about it because that's the only one that he wrote. He wrote it with Robert Kraft, I think.
Hmm.
And James Lipton said, Hudson Hawk was a movie that failed to find its audience. And because it's become a kind of a cult classic, right? It's like Valley Girl. What is it? Valley Girls with Nick Cage wasn't really a box office smash, but it was.
Was
there.
that when he was
Mystic
still
Pizza,
Nicholas Coppola?
I think he might have been still Nicholas. I thought Fast Times at Ridgemont High was the only one he did under Coppola.
That's
Okay.
He might have been
oh my
Cage,
God.
but I'm not. But I can't. I don't know for sure.
There was that movie Rumblefish that he was in. You remember that? I think he was Coppola in that film.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
But
All right,
yeah,
Jeff, I got to know. Since you're a Willis fan, what's your favorite Moonlighting episode then?
Ooh, okay. Actually, I'm gonna.
Can there be only one?
So there is one movie that's got an amazing dance scene, and it features a Billy Joel song called "The Big Man on Mulberry Street." So it's got to be that one, or it's not really the episode, but the beginning. I'm a Chicagoan, right? I grew up in Chicago. I came out here in '89.
Chi-town.
And when Jim McMahon played quarterback for the Bears during the Super Bowl, he got in trouble with Roselle for wearing a headband, and it was so cool because what McMahon did was he had come out on the field with Roselle written across the headband, and like a month later, because of course it had to be filmed and edited and ready for TV. When scripts were short, Bruce and Sybil Shepherd would talk to the audience. They would introduce the episode to kind of fill that space. And Bruce Willis came out wearing a headband that said McMahon. And as a Chicagoan and as a new fan of this show called Moonlighting, I was like, this is cool. Now, it's not why I became a Bruce Willis fan, but it was Moonlighting that did that.
That's legit. That is awesome.
Yeah. We'll make it friendly.
Those Bears teams with him and the Fridge and Sweetness. Definitely props to your team there. Yeah, in the 80s.
Yeah. So, and hang on one second. Go to bed? Okay. I'm in the middle of a Facebook thing, so all right. There's Frantic Romantic. Say hi. So, so I love telling this story, but the pilot episode of Moonlighting, remember I was 17 in 1985 when this came out. And there's a scene because the actor said, because the script said that Maddie had to climb this building in LA. And of course, Bruce is at the bottom and he's like, "What? How am I doing?" She goes, "You're doing fine, and I am looking up your skirt." And in '85, that was a pretty risque line to use on ABC television. And I said, "I'm going to like this series," and then the rest is history. So,
yeah, I remember that one. Oh God, those are the days.
See, Rick, you got to come out, drink my booze, smoke my cigars, and we can just talk about stuff like this.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. I didn't know you did cigars too. All right, I'm there.
Hey, fellas. I hate to be that guy, but
you're that guy.
Which guy? Dad.
It's the we've reached our time.
1
guy.
hour.
The witching hour.
Unfortunately, yeah. But I'd like to thank everybody for coming on. This was our very first Fran Slam. It was a nice experiment to see if people would join us, and I thought this is awesome.
Mike,
I had a great time. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you for having me. I enjoyed myself. Thank you.
Well, hey, Rick, we'll have you on next week too.
I would hope so.
I may never be invited back again, but that's okay.
But hey, everybody, again, thank you for coming on. Excellent time. We'll do this again soon. In the meantime, for everybody out there listening and watching, Hanging with the Frans, usually on at 8:30 every Thursday night. We had some technical glitches, but hopefully, fingers crossed, next time we will have our usual viewing time at 8:30. So have a great night. Have a great weekend. Happy July 4th. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll talk to you soon.